Welcome into topic 5, DQ2. Let's go ahead, we'll start off and type in our name. Once we do that, now we can get ready to go. In this first part here, we're just going to go through the bin table and finding our lower and upper limits. Okay, so now our data here is between, it's in column B, between 2 and it goes down to, I believe, 103. So this first part, we're going to say equals, and we want the minimum. So we're going to say min of B2 to B103. And now to make sure that we're not exactly at the minimum and we include it, we're going to just put minus 0.1. So that means we're right below our minimum, which is perfect. And we're going to do the same thing for maximum too. So equals max B2 to B103. And now just to be a little bit above our maximum, we're going to put plus 0.1. Awesome. Finally, for bin width, that's going to be equals, in parentheses, we're going to take our maximum minus our minimum, and we're going to divide, and this is predetermined by the DQ itself. We're going to want 11 bins, so we're going to divide by 11. And if we don't know exactly what bins are, I will discuss when we get to it, but essentially we're going to end up making a histogram, and each one of the widths of these bars that we will have in our histogram will be 7.9 or thereabout. Okay, so let's start with our frequency distribution table. We want to start coming up with our bars. So our bar will have a lower limit and an upper limit. The next one will have a lower limit and an upper limit. And this is going to repeat and be redundant. So the way we're going to do it is equals. Our very first lower limit is going to be our very minimum. And that's all we're going to put. We're going to put enter. Next, if I want to go from my lower limit and then I want to have a bin width of 7.9, I'm going to take my lower limit plus, and then I'm going to put, using an absolute cell, $E, $, this is 7. And that's going to take my lower limit, I'm going to add my bin width, and that now gives me my upper limit. So what's going to end up happening here is we're going to have this kind of interval between negative 26.4 to negative 18.5. And we're going to count eventually how many data points we have and our change in water quality fall between these two bounds. Eventually we will get to that. Our lower limit for the next one is going to be equal. That's going to be the same as our previous upper limit. Enter. Now if we do these three, we can actually save ourselves some time. I'm just now going to, let's do this one first. We're going to drag all the way down. And it's fine that it's going to be wrong. And we're going to drag all the way down. And let's see. It should autofill perfectly. All right, and you can double check. Notice we end up with 60.1. That is perfect. That is our maximum. And again, the distance between all of these is going to be 7.9. So that is it for the first part. I will see you in the next part. We will go through the title of the bin. Let's now do title of the bin. Now for title of the bin, again, this is according to the instructions. We're going to call the title just the middle between the lower and the upper limits. So we know how to find a midpoint. The way we do that is we need equals, Excel formula. We're going to put in parentheses. We're going to add our lower limit and our upper limit. And the middle point is going to be if we divide that by 2. Enter. If we do this one correctly, we can drag all the way down. Perfect. And that is going to be it for title of bin. I will see you in the next part for frequency. Let's go ahead and get started on frequency. This is going to be the tricky part here. There's two different options that you can use, COUNTIFs, or you can use what's called frequency, but I'm going to use COUNTIFs. I'm a little bit more comfortable with that, but if you do it in either method, it'll still work out to be the same. So we're going to say equals, and again, if we did this first cell right, the rest will be just dragged down. So COUNTIFs. And it says counts the number of cells specified by a given set of conditions. Now the set of conditions is that we want our values to be between these two. Now the way we do that is with two separate conditions. So first we're going to have to say we want to keep calling the same set over and over again. B2 all the way to B103. So I'm going to say $B, $2, all the way to $B, $103. That's the first part. I'm going to put a comma. And the criteria here, and I need to specify this, this is going to be put in parentheses. We want parenthesis, and it's going to be greater than or equal to, end parenthesis, the and, so this is shift the number 7, and we're going to click on our lower limit. So what this is saying is look in the data between B2 and 103, and we want all the numbers right now that are greater than or equal to negative 26.4. So that is our first condition. Now we need to do that again, except now we want to make sure it's also less than our upper limit. So same idea again, $B, $2, all the way to $B, $103. We're going to put a comma, parenthesis, and it's going to be now less than or equal to, end parenthesis, an and sign so we can connect on a cell, and our upper limit, which is living in E11. I think I said parenthesis. I meant quotation marks. I'm sorry. These are quotation marks. Parentheses are what I'm putting at the end. So stare at that for a second. Make sure you use the absolute cells on the actual data that we're calling. And again, we want greater than or equal to the lower limit, but less than or equal to the upper limit. Once we press enter, it's going to count. So it's going to go through our data and count all of the ones that fall between those two values. And again, if I've done this correctly, then I can just go ahead and drag all the way down. And if you want to verify that you have everything, I'm going to say equals, I'm going to add up all of these values. We're going to use this later on as well, here in a second. And I have 102. And let's go ahead and verify that I have 102 wells just by scrolling down. Correct, I have 102. So I just want to make sure I counted every single thing in our data set and placed it into one of these bins. Next is going to be the relative frequency. The relative frequency is just going to be equals, I'm going to take my frequency and divide it by my total. So frequency divided by the total I'm going to keep calling over and over again. So $, it's living in column G, in row, let's see, 22, enter. It's already formatted for me. If it is not, we can go through and verify that we can format these. We're going to pull all the way down. It's actually not formatted yet. We actually want to change this. We're going to read the instructions in a second. So that is it for the frequency distribution. Now we're just going to go through and make sure we formatted everything correctly. So let's go ahead and see what it says. The first thing was format the minimum, maximum bin width as numbers with 1 decimal. They already are. Now technically they're not, but they are. We're going to format them. You'll notice that they don't actually show up. They just show up as this. But we're going to say number 1 decimal. Okay. Let's keep reading. It says the title bin should reflect the midpoint. We already did that. Excel formulas with cell references should be used for all calculations, as it say. And it says format all lower and upper limits and bin titles as numbers with 1 decimal place. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll highlight all this. Now I know they're already 1 decimal, but just to make sure, format cell, number, 1 decimal, okay. Format all the frequencies as numbers with 0 decimals. We'll do this anyways, just in case. Right click, format cell, number, we'll go to 0. And then the one that we really need to change here is it says, and percentages with 0 decimal places. These are percentages with 2 decimal places. So highlight, right click, format cell, percentages, but we want 0 decimals, and we'll say OK. And again, we can double check. We'll say equals sum, and it should be the case that if we add up all of our percentages, we should get 100%, right? So these are just quick verifications. This actually helps you with the relative frequency just by having this number here. And then 100% is just making sure we've got all of our data. So that is it for this part. I will see you in a second to actually put together the histogram so we can have a visual of what we have accomplished. The very last part here, let's go ahead and make this histogram. Gonna try to do the easiest way possible. So number one, we're gonna highlight including the titles, the title of the bin, and the frequency. I know I already read the instructions, but it wants us to use the title of the bins on the x-axis and the frequencies on the y-axis. So we're gonna highlight, we're gonna go to Insert, this option here. It looks very incorrect to start, but we're gonna make some modifications and get it to look how we would like. So let me drag this down here. Okay, the very first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna click on the legend here. We're going to right click. If we right click, you will have the option for Select Data. You'll click Select Data. We are going to get rid of title of the bin. We do not want this. We're going to change our horizontal axis. We're going to say Edit, and the title of our bins are living from F11, and you'll notice if you click, it makes it a little bit easier, all the way down to F21. Once we've done this, we will click OK. When we click OK again, you'll notice we have something that looks a little bit better. Now, I personally don't want the legend here, so I'm just gonna, if you click and say delete, it'll get out of there. There's a couple things that we want to change. The very first thing is we want the axis titles. And we're just gonna say, I'm gonna title these bin midpoints. If you just put bin titles, that's fine. And over here, we're going to say frequency. Awesome. And let's go ahead. We're just going to say, what are we exactly taking into here? We're dealing with change in water quality, so we'll just say frequency of water quality. Whatever you title it, as long as it's something reasonable, that's fine. The very last thing that we want to change, let me get rid of this, is we would really like if these bars are right next to each other. Let's go ahead and change this. If you click on one of the bars, you're going to right click and format data point. You're going to get this bar that comes up over here, and this gap width is just something we would like to get rid of. All the way down to 0, and now you'll notice this is a closer definition of what we are calling a histogram. So once you have done that, that is it for this DQ. I understand that this part was probably a little bit tricky, as well as making sure we get the count ifs. Right, so feel free to watch those parts a couple times. If you'd rather use the built-in function of frequency, that is also fine. But other than that, I will see you in next week's DQs.